We're gonna make some brown butter, bourbon, maple baked donuts. In this case, we're actually gonna bake the donuts. So these are actually a little bit easier. I'm starting by browning some butter. This is a whole stick of butter. I'm gonna need half of the stick for the batter, or for the dough, and then I'm gonna use the other half of the stick for the glaze. We're gonna start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. 1½ teaspoons of baking powder. 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. A little bit of salt, and then some ground nutmeg. We're just gonna take a fine hand grater and just grate the nutmeg right into the dry ingredients. A couple of eggs. 2/3 of a cup of sugar. And some vanilla extract. Three-quarters of a cup of buttermilk. Buttermilk is going to give us some tender donuts. A little bit of tanginess in there as well. You know, buttermilk is one of my favorite ingredients. I don't know if you saw the buttermilk brunch show. I'm gonna use half of the brown butter for the batter. And I'm gonna use the other half of the brown butter for the glaze. And the brown butter is gonna give it that nice nutty sort of undertone. And we're just gonna mix this until it just kind of comes together. And now we're gonna put this in a pastry bag. We're gonna bake some donuts. So we're gonna cut the tip of this off. Let's make some donuts. I'm gonna fill this up about 3/4 of the way. We're gonna rise a little bit. With the pastry bag, we can control where the batter goes a little more efficiently. So we're gonna get the first pan in the oven. It's only about 8 minutes, 375 degrees, and we're gonna have some donuts, folks. You can eat the donuts plain, they have a lot of flavor. But why have a plain donut when you can have a brown butter, bourbon, maple syrup glazed donut? That's really the question, don't you think? So we have some brown butter, a couple tablespoons of the bourbon. Let the alcohol from the bourbon sort of melt away. We're gonna add a little bit of maple syrup, about 1/2 cup. A little confectioner's sugar now, some powdered sugar. And I'm actually gonna sift it so that it doesn't clump up in the glaze. So you just want to stir this vigorously so you get all the lumps out. All right, there we go. I like nuts on my donuts. I like that crunch. So we're just gonna chop some toasted pecans. The donuts are incredibly tender, and you get a little crustiness from the bottom of the pan that it's baked in. And then you got that glaze. You taste the maple syrup right away. It's enhanced by the bourbon. Even the nuttiness from the brown butter and, of course, the pecans works out really nicely. Now we're gonna make a Persian baked omelet. We have our red onion going here so far. Now we're gonna add all this, it's lots of green ingredients. So I'm gonna chop up our spinach. The one thing about spinach is when you buy fresh spinach and you cook it, it melts away to nothing. It's crazy. I mean, you can buy like, you know, this much spinach and then it turns into this much spinach. It's unbelievable. So I'm gonna chop up some green onions, some scallions. Very healthy cuisine. Very flavorful, but very healthy. So I'm gonna crush up a little bit of garlic. All right, let's cook. So we have our red onions and our scallions, some fresh garlic. Just gonna let the garlic and the onions cook for a second. And while it's happening, I'm gonna chop up some of my herbs, some cilantro, fresh dill, parsley, and some chives. You can see I'm using a big array of herbs here. You can use whatever kind of herbs you want. I mean, I wouldn't suggest rosemary because it's just such a strong herb. But, you know, get a lot of parsley going. Lots of parsley in Persian food. I'm gonna throw our spinach in here, and you're gonna see how this is gonna just kind of melt really quickly. That smells good. Onions and garlic. Not one kind of onions, 2, red and green. Then we're gonna throw our fresh herbs in, and we're not gonna cook them very much. Just kind of get them slightly warm, so we want to retain the freshness of the herbs. Just kind of mix them in there with the wilted spinach and the onions and garlic. Okay. We're gonna take that off the heat, toss in a few pine nuts. I mean, if you don't have pine nuts, you could use things like walnuts, even almonds would work really nicely. So we're going to actually blend the eggs with a little bit of milk. And you can do this by hand for sure, but I just want to show you like another technique. It's actually gonna whip in a little air into the eggs itself, so it might make the frittata or the baked Persian omelet a little bit lighter. Okay. And just a little bit of milk. And I like to put a little pepper into my eggs. I'm gonna pour the eggs over the herbs. Just give it a kind of a quick stir. Just mix the herbs in there a little bit. Sprinkle a little salt, and let's get it right into the oven. 350 degrees. Should take about 20 to 25 minutes, just until the eggs set, and just take it right out of the pan. You can make it ahead of time, you can serve it family style, and you can serve it room temperature, so it's perfect for entertaining. And then we're gonna take our omelet out of the oven, our Persian frittata. So, wanna make sure that this is gonna come out, non-stick pan. Magic. Gorgeous. So we're just gonna let this sit for a minute, and you can cut it out almost like a pie. And it's still a little bit warm, you can see it steaming, but you can also serve this room temperature. And then a little bit of yogurt. Love these eggs, very simple flavor. The omelet is just cooked through. So it's got that really good custardy-like texture to it. Lots of fresh herbs, really, really healthy. All right, let's go get the rotisserie. All right, this is what it looks like. The rotisserie, I guess you could call it like a rotisserie pole or something, and these are gonna lock in the chickens. We're gonna cook it on the grill, but we're not cooking it on the grill. We're cooking it here. See this heat right here? This is the rotisserie flame, and we're gonna put it right along in here. We're gonna let the chickens cook nice and slowly. All right, first things first. We're gonna fold the wings back here. And it's always a good idea to take the tag off. Now, I'm gonna season very liberally with some salt and pepper. You want to press the seasonings in, because otherwise it's just going to fall right off the chicken. So we're going to put one chicken like that and lock it in from this side. I think that people just don't, I mean, when they go and buy the grill, they're like, oh, it's really cool because it has a rotisserie, you know, and it kind of spins on its own electrically. But I don't think that anybody, I don't think people use them enough. They just, maybe they're intimidated by it, maybe they don't have the right recipes, or maybe they just don't feel like doing it. But to me, it's a great way to cook chickens. You want to just fit this right in here. Push it in, make sure it's all set there. See, this one is all lit right back here. You don't want to leave the grill on. If you leave the grill on, I promise you the flames will find the chicken. We just want to cook it nice and slowly on the rotisserie. So let's flip the switch, as they say. See? Now you can open your own chicken shack. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a grilled tomatillo salsa. We're gonna grill all the ingredients. We have some red onions, some tomatillos. They look like green tomatoes, but in fact, they're not. They're actually in the gooseberry family. We're gonna take the husk off, and that's what you have. And it's really like a giant gooseberry. Here, look inside. Okay, so we're going to put all these in a bowl with some serrano chilies and even a little garlic, a little oil, salt and pepper. Mix them together. Let's get them on the grill. Even the garlic, just a little grill flavor. All right, we'll keep an eye on those. There you go. Let's check out my vegetables over here. All right, that looks good. Be a nice char in the tomatillos. And this is really gonna give it a really nice fire roasted flavor. Turn the onions over here. Then what I'm gonna do, just cook them in a pan a little bit more, all these ingredients. Now we're making a salsa, so we're gonna need oil anyway, so we're just gonna put a little more oil in there. And we'll let that cook. All right. Now we can make our salsa. Tomatillos, the onion, garlic, and the chilies. Lime juice. Let's give this a whirl in the blender. All right, so we want a lot of cilantro for this. We want this to be green. Just a touch of olive oil. Hot. A little bit of honey. Now we have salsa verde. All right, got my salsa verde. So let's shred the rest of this chicken for our tacos. Okay, now it's a little cooler, just comes away much easier. Also, it hurts less. So we have our chicken. We're gonna put some fresh cilantro on the plate. And then we're going to serve it with some queso fresco, which is like a fresh Mexican-style cheese. It doesn't have a lot of flavor, but that's okay, because we have the grilled tomatillo salsa, which is gonna have tons of flavor, very spicy. And this is really gonna be sort of make your own kind of thing. Put the tomatillo salsa there. We have two kinds of tortillas. These are flour tortillas, and actually these are made with red chilies in them. And these are blue corn tortillas. Blue corn is probably my favorite ingredient. Flour tortillas you can just sort of throw on the grill, but be careful, they go fast. Now the corn tortillas, because they're a little bit firmer, what I like to do is just run them under water for a second, give it some moisture, and then put them on the grill. And the water will evaporate. Smell that. Bring over the tacos. Take a little blue corn tortilla, a little bit of chicken, some grilled tomatillo salsa, a little queso fresco, and a sprig of cilantro. Blue corn is the way to go. So we're gonna make 3 different versions of an avocado toast. I'm gonna start by making the avocado base, just a few ingredients, some avocados, some scallions, lime juice, cilantro, and then we can pump up the flavor and the creativity with lots of different combinations of ingredients. First of all, let's make the avocado base. A little squeeze of lime. So I'm gonna add some green onions to this. I love the flavor of green onions. I love the pungency of it all. I want those bold flavors. Cilantro, some salt and pepper. If you notice, I'm just going to kind of mix it once or crush it one time because we want that nice chunky texture. That's just my preference. I was the kid that when you were picking the peanut butter, I was always crunchy, always. So that's good. Let's make some toast. All right, we're gonna start making our egg salad for our first avocado toast. I have some hard-boiled eggs here. I'm gonna grate the eggs. You can actually chop them if you want, but if you just use the cheese grater, it goes really quickly, and I actually like the texture of it that way. We're gonna add some Dijon mustard and some creme fraiche and some shallots. So Dijon's a little spicy, the creme fraiche is nice and creamy, a little bit tart, and the shallot's gonna give it a little bit of crunch. A little salt and pepper. A little bit of fresh dill. It's got such great flavor. It's one of the things I like about like Eastern European food and Greek food. Just gonna mix this up. I'm gonna use the pumpernickel for this, which has a little molasses in there. Just lightly brush the olive oil on top. I'm gonna broil our pumpernickel. Now you can toast your bread in lots of different ways. I'm actually using my broiler. You can grill your bread outside on a grill or in a grill pan, or you can actually just put it in a toaster. Okay. I'm gonna put the rest of the toast in the broiler as we make our first avocado toast. Okay, we can start the avocado toast parade. And what I like to do is just put a very thin layer of avocado. Think of it almost like butter. Then I'm gonna take a little bit of radicchio. You'll see it in lots of Italian and Mediterranean cuisine. This is gonna give it a little bit of that peppery flavor. And then we take some of our egg salad. So pretty. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit of dill right on top of the egg salad. And it really looks beautiful on that pumpernickel bread, too. So this is gonna be smoked salmon, a little bit of dill with the avocado. So again, very thin layer of the avocado, and then a little bit of smoked salmon. So you have like thin slices of smoked salmon, and you just kind of let it drop into the avocado. Don't push it down. Paper thin slices. I'm gonna add a little bit of creme fraiche right on top of this as well. Avocado, smoked salmon, and dill. And we have one more to do. Who knew avocado toast could be so much fun, right? We're just gonna take some Fresno chili. Looks like a red jalapeno. Just drop some chilies right on top. A little bit of lime zest. And then a little bit of extra cilantro. That's what you wanna hear. You wanna hear that crunch. There it is, the parade of avocado toast.
Bobby.
Yes, ma'am.
You working on the glaze, sir?
I am. We've got, what do we have in here? We have brown sugar, some butter to start. This is the mustard and brown sugar glaze for the salmon. And you've melted that. And then we add a little bit of soy sauce and some honey. And we're gonna add the Dijon mustard now at the end. And here, you know what, take that off the heat, Jane.
Okay.
Just kind of pull it over here.
All right.
And stir it up. Okay. You wanna add the mustard off the heat because you don't want it to break. You don't want it to separate.
Oh, okay.
All right? Let that cook, you know, keep stirring that for about 4 or 5 minutes. All right, Patrice, here's the deal, all right? Joey brought us this great salmon.
Yes, he did.
And we don't want to ruin it. So I just want you to...
Leave it to me.
I'll leave it. See, confidence is high.
Yes.
And you brought your own plane with you,
One
too.
of my favorite things.
All right, olive oil, salt and
Brush it.
pepper. Yeah, just brush it lightly. You don't have to put a lot on.
Right.
And then we'll go over to the grill.
Okay.
I put a couple on, but we have some hungry people. Is that hot?
Let me
What's going
see.
on here.
Yeah.
You see, I just put the salmon on the grill like this. I'm just gonna flip it over. It comes right off the grill. I mean, see, that's what I'm talking about, all right?
You like a lot of pepper, or?
Yeah, I do like a lot of pepper. Do you like a lot of pepper?
Mm-hmm.
Then put a lot on.
Okay, here we go.
Beautiful. All right,
Hands?
now throw them right on the grill.
Okay.
Flesh side down.
Bobby,
Perfect.
Patrice, do you cook your salmon at the same temperature that you cook your vegetables?
Well, what I like to do is I like to use a hot grill, okay, like this one. and just leave the salmon alone. You know, I cook it on the flesh side, you see, and it just came right off the grill.
Yeah.
Very often people are intimidated about cooking fish because it sticks all the time.
This
okay?
is one of the easiest ones to cook.
It is,
because it's firm flesh.
It's firm flesh and it
Yeah.
has a lot of fat content, so
Yeah.
it's awesome. And I like to leave the skin on because it also helps keep it together. Are you still stirring?
I'm still stirring.
Okay, well, why don't we start brushing? The idea here now we want to get, now at this point, you know, this salmon is perfectly fine. Yeah, it's olive oil, salt, and pepper, and a great piece of fish. You can take this off, squeeze a lemon, and
Perfect.
it's perfect. But this is hot off the grill,
So we have to
and we have to
spice it up.
complicate things a little bit. So we're gonna add just we're gonna add a little bit of this glaze that we made. Really simple ingredients, and this is something that can be done days ahead of time because the sugars really preserve it all, right? It's the brown sugar, the mustard, the whole thing, the whole nine, as we like to say. All right, who wants to do this?
I can do it or Patrice, either way.
Well, okay, we're gonna have a fight here.
No, go ahead, go
Why don't you guys
I'll
flip a
flip.
coin?
I'll flip, and you brush, I'll flip.
Okay, fine. Here we go. What am I gonna do? All right.
You just stand there and look pretty, Bobby.
Oh, thank you very much. Now, Jane, you just brush it right on top of
All
it.
right.
You don't want to put this glaze on before you grill the fish, because then it will probably burn because of the sugars and everything. How's that look?
Looks really good.
That looks so good.
Looks awesome. Now let's see. Now, if you notice, we haven't touched the fish that you put on yet. I'm not so sure it's ready to come up yet. Yeah, actually, we're gonna let it cook for a couple
crisp up.
more minutes. Exactly.
Then it just releases by itself.
Exactly. We're taking the salmon off the grill. Patricia's doing some. We have some cilantro here. You can use any kind of herb you want. Actually, I like to take some chives also. Just kind of sprinkle them on. All right. You want to bring these over?
My pleasure.
Now, we're drinking Pinot Noir here, and we have Gary, our wine guy. Salmon,
Salmon.
and Pinot Noir, red wine?
Everybody kept saying, what white wine are we having now? What wine are we having now? And I said, no, we're having red wine. A nice fruit-driven Pinot Noir from Caneros, which is right in between Napa and Sonoma. They get a cool growing season, so it takes a long time for the grapes to come through. It is rich. The salmon is a help me out here.
Rich.
Buttery.
A rich,
Buttery
flavorful
goodness for
fish.
Joey.
There's almost no tannin in here.
There is, the reason why we
I
like
mean, it
Pinot
really
for
just-
this is there is no tannin whatsoever. It won't compete with the fish. It will complement the fat of the fish.
It's delicious.
Patrice, you cooked this perfectly. This is awesome. It's right in the money.